Hello. Hey, Daniel. Good to see you. Can you hear me okay? Today's session is going to be very special. So I'm very happy that you made it. So far, we've covered the foundation for self-love. We've covered how to conquer yourself. Hey, we've covered essentially how to understand how to navigate through the chaos and your patterns. In this session, we're going to look at how to master your future self-love and how to really conquer that. So by the end of today, you'll know how to start from ground zero to the future. And I'm super excited for this one. So our assignment for last week, what patterns do you get stuck in and your shift tool? Just a reminder, go ahead and send it to my email if you haven't already. Thank you, Daniel. I did see your email. I appreciate you always staying so on top of everything. And for all of your support, you're awesome and appreciated. And again, just go ahead and email it at lauren@thesubconsciousmuse.com right at the top. This week I've added, let me move my here. There we go. It's a little better. I feel like it was hard to read the bottom portion. This week I've added my coaching application on the QR code. So if anyone who's watching is interested in any of my coaching or my courses that I have coming up, Thrive Beyond Your Patterns, Thrive Beyond Codependency, and how to basically tap into your entrepreneurial power. Those are the 3 courses I have. And I have 2 types of coaching, which is the one-on-one elite mind warrior coaching, which is 12 weeks, where we'll dig really deeply into your patterns. And I also have what I call Thrive sessions, where I'll spend just a few days with you, 2 to 3 days, depending on how much work we need to do. Everybody's a little different. And we will dive as deep as possible to help you reset and thrive from that moment forward, using every type of coaching modality I have, from NLP, hypnosis, everything. That exact model is what got me past my PTSD symptoms. So very passionate about that product and happy to give that back. All right. Today we're going to do a very awesome guided meditation where we're going to speak to your future self. So just like last week, find a comfortable space. If you're lying down or sitting, either way is fine, just as long as you're not operating a vehicle. And if you are operating a vehicle, you can come back to this later once you're stopped. All right, let's go ahead and get that started. All right. Now close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. Become hyper aware of your senses. What are you feeling? What are you seeing in your mind's eye? What are you hearing? Next, I want you to imagine you're walking a path in your mind's eye that leads you to the present moment. And as you're walking on this path, I want you to dig in and think of all of the words you've taken on as your truth up until this very moment that other people have spoken to you. And as you're walking and visualizing these moments where these instances have happened, think about one in particular and stop walking as you imagine that specific moment where this happened with an individual directly. Imagine them with you and speak to them in your mind. Forgive me, for you have made me feel less than who I am, as you're really projecting your limiting beliefs. I will no longer allow your words or actions to go against myself again. And when you're ready, and you feel like you've completely articulated this, you can start walking again towards the present moment, right here and now. And again, in your mind's eye, think about another instance with another person. And stop. Forgive me, for I have used your words to go against myself. I will no longer allow your words or actions to go against myself. And when you feel ready, like you've articulated this completely, begin walking again on your path to this present moment. Repeat this as many times as you need to. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Imagine every instance in every scenario where you need to have this conversation with somebody. Okay. Now I'll return back to the present moment. And next, I want you to walk up to a mirror. Stand in front of it as you stare directly into your eyes. I want you to say this to yourself in the mirror. Forgive me. I have used your words to go against myself. I will no longer use your words to hurt myself again. And after you say these things to yourself in the mirror becomes a portal into the future. Slowly push your hand through. Then step through the mirror. And as you're stepping through the mirror, you see your future self. You see the version of yourself that you took the time to write out specifically that you are becoming. And while you're there, you become aware of what old belief systems had to fall away in order for you to reach that state. You become that future version of yourself that you're seeking. You become aware of the things that you would tell yourself that future you would never say. And the identities that had to fall away. As you stand fully embodied as your future self, you become aware of how it feels to have the life that you desire. Really, really feel what it feels like to be there. Where are you feeling it in your body? See yourself setting an anchor into these emotions. These will become your new default mode and set your emotional thermostat as such. Notice what thoughts you have about yourself and of others. Then step out of the body of your future self. And as you're still standing in the future, ask your future self, what are your daily habits and routines that have allowed you to have the life you've had? Listen to the messages that you receive and ask your future self additionally, what is the linchpin limiting belief that you need to let go of? That when you let go of this one, it'll tear down the tower of all the other beliefs. Next, ask yourself, what is the first step that you'll need to take today that'll allow you to build the momentum towards your desired future? And when you've reviewed all of these answers with yourself, give your future self a hug and say thank you. Let them know that you'll see them very soon. And when you're ready, walk back into the present. Relax back into where your body is now. And ending with a few deep breaths. I'd like for you to open your eyes. And if you have a journal or a notepad on your phone or anything nearby, I'd love for you to take a few minutes right now to jot down exactly what wisdom and insight was shared with you during this meditation.
Bowel movements and go to sleep. Now, existence, you see, is something that is spontaneous. The Chinese word for nature, zizhan, means that which happens of itself. Your hair grows by itself. Your heart beats by itself. You breathe pretty much by itself. Your glands secrete their essences by themselves. You don't have voluntary control over these things. So we say it happens spontaneously. So when you go to sleep and you try to go to sleep, you interfere with the spontaneous process of going to sleep. Try to breathe, real hard, and you find you get balled up in your breathing. So if you're going to be human, you just have to trust yourself to have bowel movements and go to sleep and digest your food. Of course, if something goes seriously wrong and you need a surgeon, that's another matter. But by and large, the healthy human being doesn't, right from the start of life, need surgical interference. And he lets it happen by itself. So with the whole picture, that is fundamental to it. You've got to let go and let it happen. Because if you don't, you're going to be all clutched up.
All right. Daniel, were you able to get that completed? Let me know when you're ready. The goal is to take in that wisdom and use it. Awesome, Daniel. Thank you. And please feel free to revisit this video as many times as you need to kind of recalibrate. All right. What we're going to cover today is future self-love. So we haven't really talked too deeply on the law of attraction, but now that we've discussed really patterns and conquering yourself and really understanding that piece of the puzzle, this is the next step. And truly understanding how to hone in on the law of attraction. And this one's showing a little graph of 3 steps, which is wish, intention, receive. The first we've already done quite a bit of together. And the second one as well. The goal is to really get clear on which direction you want to go in your life. As clear as possible. And take that inspired action, as you see on the second step, with passion and staying in the present moment, and trust that everything will work out as it needs to. Enjoy the moment. Bring joy and play to everything that you're doing to allow things to flow so you can receive. Show gratitude. Life is meant to be enjoyed. And this is why I'm so passionate about coaching others on living their truths and their passions and their purpose. So, as the law of attraction, I know we've all heard so much about it. This next piece to the puzzle, the law of resonance, is where the real magic is. You attract in life what you are. Why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? Well, if you look back on everything we've already talked about, I've continually mentioned shifting your mind to more positive ideas and thoughts to help rewire your brain. I've also spoken about how to shift your emotional states overall so that you are in the moment, and how to stay clear and confident in everything that you do by having everything mapped out, by having boundaries, by having clear intentions and a strong foundation. And this is why. Because everything that you're doing, you are essentially receiving that same energy back. You're sending out a message stating, this is where I'm at. The law of resonance states that all energy resonates at a specific frequency, enabling only energy of a harmonious frequency to attach to it, creating your physical results. And the emotion that you experience creates a specific vibratory frequency or resonance, which once created is projected outward, which activates and enables the law of attraction to do its job and creates what you experience in your life. So this is actually the most important thing to understand about the law of attraction, is that the state that you're in, the emotional state that you're in, where your mind is focused, is quite literally the most important thing. Because what you are focused on, what you are thinking on, what you are feeling, what you are believing, you are attracting. What you focus on magnifies. So, just to give you some tools additionally from what we've already discussed, imagine you're in a hallway. And when you look to the right, you're seeing all of your goals, all of the things you're working towards. You're seeing the present moment. You're seeing all the things you love. And then when you look to the left, those are all the thoughts that you keep springing back to. Maybe you get anxiety that is triggered from a past event. Potentially just a negative thought pattern comes up. Maybe you see somebody and it reminds you of something. Or maybe you turn on Facebook and there's nothing but negative information in that one particular feed or thread that you happened upon. You have the control to stop looking to the left and to look to the right. You get to decide where you focus your energy. So just to really hone in everything that we've already talked about, that's a really good tool to remember. If you ever get stuck in a fearful state, there's been a lot of chaos going on lately. I really don't want to harp on that for too long because that's not what this is about. But You are in control of where you allow your mind and your energy to flow. So look to the right. Look at the things that you want to create, you want to move towards, and pour your energy towards that. You attract what you are. And so what you are matters. Okay? Again, also, this is why it's extremely important to always be authentic and have clear intentions with everything that you do. Because both of those things will save you emotional energy. It'll save you just energy in general because you're not pushing against the grain in any direction. And when you set clear intentions before you do things proactively, you're allowing space in your mind to look at the right side of the hallway. Right before you do something that you know you need to be very clear-minded for, set an intention right before you appear that you want to be as calm and as present as possible. Right before you have a conversation with somebody who you know needs to have a tougher version of you, you can have that intention in your mind right before you get there. I need to be strong. I need to be whatever traits you need for that moment. This is how you move with intention. And those two things, life-changing. And this one I harped on quite a bit already in a lot of other areas. I do this quite often in my personal life, but the power of all or nothing. And I put this cute little graph because I thought it was funny. Resembles Pac-Man, does not resemble Pac-Man. Essentially, consider this. If you are not fully all in or present with everything that you're doing in that moment, there's always going to be a piece of your energy that is not there, that is not working in your favor. So, moving mindfully and intentionally and not having any toxicity around you, make sure you have boundaries. Where the best example I can give is where somebody in the dating world is saying, "Oh, I'm interested in you, but I'm not ready to date." Okay, all or nothing. So then there's nothing, right? You're not going to pour any energy towards that. Does that mean you can't be their friend? No, but it also means that they're not going to get any romantic version of you. All or nothing with everything you do. How are you splitting your energy in your daily life? Are you splitting it by overwhelming your schedule with too many things? Or are you able to focus your energy directly one at a time? And a lot of people get lost with this all or nothing and think, okay, I can only do one thing. No, the point is, if you're going to do more than one thing, at least do that one thing all the way while you're doing it, right? And master it the first before you move on to the next. But pour in reciprocal type situations, or situations where you know that you're pouring into something worthwhile, right? Oh, this one's fun. So we've been pretty serious thus far on really navigating all of this stuff. And today's a lot lighter than the other days on the challenge. But this part I love the most because really the goal here is for you to fully love every ounce of your being and create a life that is joyful, where you are pouring your energy in such a way that you love waking up every single day of your life. When you go to work, it feels like play. When you're in relationships, it feels healthy and mutual and wonderful and cohesive. When you're doing mundane tasks, you're still present and joyful and fully present with your intentions in the moment and just living life fully. And when you give yourself and fill your cup up first, you give yourself all the self-love that you need, that's what your life looks like. You're no longer attracted to the things that don't feed you. Naturally, those things will no longer want, you'll no longer want them to even be near you. It won't even feel comfortable anymore because you're going to be full and you're going to love yourself enough to where these things have to reach a certain level in order to enter your life. So, chasing joy is all about creating a life that allows you to be joyful in every direction. And it's something I wish people talked about more often as well. We're not meant to be here to be stressed. So holistically, really gauge. And I'm going to pull up my holistic list here. Really gauge what that looks like for you. Hold on one second. So for your self-care, how can you add more joy to your self-care routine? For your mental health, how can you add more joy there? For intimacy, even if it's just friendships and colleagues, how can you add more joy there? Family, how can you add more joy there? For me, most of my friends have become my family. So if that's the case for you, I don't have a close-knit family. So that works. Experiences. How can you add more joy to your experiences? Your spirituality. Your money. And your expansion. So the things you're learning, the things you're adding to your life, the areas that you're growing into. How can you add more joy there? Maybe do something that you've always wanted to do, but you've just never pulled the trigger. I love to dance. I've always wanted to sign up for a dancing class. So that would be joyful for me to learn and grow in that way, right? So mastering your energy and really focusing in on how you're pouring it. I want you to also revisit all of the things that we've already done for our assignments. So the list of people in your life, the way that you are exerting your energy on a day-to-day basis. And while you're going over those two things again, really analyze them and ask yourself, how can I add more joy in my relationships? If that means that you need to distance yourself from some people, that's okay. It's all about becoming more aware and understanding of the things that you will allow, the energy you will allow in your space, right? But the goal is to have more joy at the end of the day. Maybe you'll allow yourself to have a day where you go out and watch a movie or something. Everybody's different. It's really hard for me to give you a across the board full spectrum example, right? Because we all have different needs. We all have different ideas of what joy means to us. For me, a joyful life is one that's not rushed, right? I don't like to be rushed. So I've built a life about being intentional, proactive, and not in a rush. Once I really figured out that little mind muscle within myself where I felt like I was always pushing myself to hurry and rush, and I had to always be somewhere I wasn't, and I realized I wasn't able to be in the moment, right? Hey there, it says SG. This is live. This is live. Thank you for showing up. If you don't mind me asking, where are you from? I appreciate you being here. And once you get that joy piece really hammered out, the next step for you is to write out declarations. So the assignment at the tail end of last week was to curate the future perfect life, right? And today we did a meditation on you speaking to that version of yourself. Now I want you to create declarations that allow you to stand fully in that version of you. And whatever that means to you, I declare I am traveling the world, coaching people on how to live beyond their limited beliefs and subconscious blocks. And be creative, be as detailed as humanly possible. And the goal is to curate declarations that you can read to yourself on a daily basis to help you get to this future self. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Chicago, awesome. I appreciate your support too. That means a lot. Thank you. All right. So we've come to the last assignment. And since this is the last week of the self-love challenge, SG, I don't know if you've been able to watch the other videos. It would be extremely beneficial for you too, and you're welcome to catch up to speed. If not, this one's cool for you to watch. There's really no pressure, whatever works best for you. But this is the homework for week 4. Whoever completes all of the assignments and has everything to me by March 6th of this year. So what, next week? I can't believe we're already here. This went by so fast. You will win some free coaching sessions as well as a few other items for just to maintain your self-love stamina, essentially. So assignment number 1, write out your declarations for your future self, goals, Again, the more detail, the better. Assignment number 2, create a joy board, like a vision board, but a joy board. And if you don't want to do a board, you can do a list. But something that you can keep handy so you can look at it, like looking at that right side of the hallway whenever you need that reminder of, I need more joy in my life. And the third assignment and final assignment is to post on social media that you completed the self-love challenge with a short testimonial. You can just email it to me, screenshot it, or tag me, whichever, both if you want. And very grateful if you do that, even if you don't do the homework assignments. And last but not least, I will be starting a group coaching session in April for my Elite Mind Warrior group. And if you are interested in any of my coaching and would like to really dive deeply into your just unconscious patterns and limited beliefs, your subconscious blocks, really want assistance and support from somebody who can help see your blind spots, the things that you can't see yourself, I'd be more than happy to speak with you. This QR code has my coaching application on there. And I also have a limiting belief ebook that is available there as well if you are curious about that. Also, I will be erecting my school soon online, which will have my 3 courses on there. The 2 that you see here are Thrive Beyond Your Patterns and Beyond Codependency. Patterns one is essentially a self-paced course that's my coaching, but without me. And you can do it at your own speed, but just to help you get past your patterns and your blocks. The codependency, I found that every single one of my clients, and really anybody around me who was wanting to reach new heights in their life, struggled with codependency, and it was keeping them stuck because they were always wanting really hard to please the people around them, or they were programmed to put themselves last, or whatever it was. Codependency was holding them back, right? So I felt the need to do that. Also, it's something I've struggled with. So it's one thing I've wanted to push myself to learn more and get better at as well. I have a few webinars that I will be sharing as well. If that's something that interests you, we can talk about that. The How to Trust Your Gut Beyond Your Fears. After 2020, I noticed a lot of people were stuck in this fight or flight mode, and I wanted to really dive deeply into our fear that was keeping us in these polarized states where we're fighting each other versus helping each other and working together, which was my goal in creating that, to help people see beyond that fear limitation. I also have done how to be fearlessly authentic. So as we just discussed, authenticity is very important in bringing to your everyday life. We've discussed a lot of similar themes in this one, but it just goes a little deeper on how to be the most authentic version of you and why it's important, especially if you choose a leadership role or you're an entrepreneur and you're leading people, because we have that social just responsibility to be the best version of ourselves and to really give that version of ourselves back and lead by example. And I am working on also self-sabotage for entrepreneurs, but really anybody who has self-sabotage will benefit from that as well. A lot of things in the work, a lot of things I want to do. I challenge each and every one of you guys to give back as well and to help others learn more and grow more on this journey. I'm offering this for free. This will eventually be a paid thing as well, but thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope I've added a ton of value to something in your life, helped you see or grow or expand in a way that you weren't able to prior to this. And I am just grateful that you trusted me with your time. And I'm grateful to be a part of your journey and being the best version of you. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm super excited. Daniel, I am excited to dig in deeper with you, especially now that I know that we have similar stories. So I really am looking forward to working with you once I know you're going to complete all of the assignments. You've been on top of it. So not getting ahead of myself here, guys, but Daniel's been on top of it. If you guys want to win this prize, you're going to have to catch up. Thank you, SG. I really appreciate that compliment. And Daniel, I'm so happy to hear that. That really, truly warms my heart. I do what I love. This is my purpose. I literally walk through the fire and I feel like I did it for a reason. So I might as well give it back as much as I can. And my daughter is watching every move I make. I want to be the best version of myself for her. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Today was a little bit shorter and more light and fluffy, but our future self is just as important as our present self. I highly recommend constantly, at least once a month, if you have the ability to, maybe set a reminder on your phone, write out what your future self is doing and just revise it as needed. And feel free, these videos will be available to come back to this meditation that I did with you today because it helps. It really does. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you for being here. Take care.